Hello everyone, this is a promotional video about subquantum kinetics or SQK, the hypothesis developed by the late Dr Paul LaViolette. My name is Brendan Darragh, and our group of scientists at the Starburst Foundation and the Model G Vortical Motion Group have been continuing Paul's work into this amazing new science. As well as subquantum kinetics, we also investigate related transdisciplinary topics of astronomy, particle physics, cosmology, climatology, geology, paleontology, systems theory, mythology, consciousness studies, philosophy and art. Subquantum kinetics has a lot going for it, and to date 14 of its a priori predictions have been confirmed by observation. However, there is much work to be done, and in many ways SQK is a work in progress. Art can do many things, be used to show satire, humour or peace, etc. It can also be symbolic and point to truths, such as the Egyptian tarot deck, which appears to indicate the science of continuous creation and ether physics or subquantum kinetics. The story of the formation of a subatomic particle from its original primordial wasteland none, as represented by the tarot card the Fool or Materialist, and then to the Magician or Magus, and then the High Priestess, Isis Unveiled. These last two representing one for the Magus, the creative force, divine will, the principle of action, potential and unity, or primordial transmuting ether. Two for the High Priestess, perception, discrimination and knowledge, representing in ether physics the differentiation of the initially unitary primal flux into numerous distinct transformation pathways. The remaining cards on the deck tell the remainder of the story. Similarly, this can be seen in astrology and ancient mythologies, indicating that the ancients may well have known about this science, and seeing the coming destruction of their civilization, encoded it into symbols of the tarot, astrology, myths, etc., in the hopes that some future civilization would be able to recover it. Quote, "A time followed when Egypt, no longer able to struggle against her invaders, prepared to die honourably. Then the Egyptian savants held a great assembly to arrange how the knowledge, which until that date had been confined to men judged worthy to receive it, should be saved from destruction." End quote. Also, being an esoteric science, the tarot cards and astrology had different levels of meaning. One fortune-telling, personality and spiritual advice, and another an ether physics that describes free energy, anti-gravity, tired light, galactic superwaves, genic energy, and breaking of the laws of thermodynamics, i.e. non-conservation of the first law and breaking of the second law, also breaking Newton's third law, which states for every action there is an equal and opposite reaction, etc. A science that could free this planet and turn it into a paradise. In the next video we will talk about the neutron, proton and electron in Model G. Model G as a preliminary version of SQK, and our recent work looking at quantum particle spin as ether vortex currents.
Describing how a particle forms in space. And you find that it solves a lot of problems which physics had before. Physics traditionally has been based on mechanics, and we're talking about a chemical approach, a chemical reaction approach to physics. Actually, you could say it's alchemical, and there's an ancient, it ties in with ancient ideas too.
Does this relate to hyperdimensional physics and particles being waves, depending on how you look at them?
Okay, it does postulate existence of higher dimensions. The basic idea, which is what steered me into all of this work that I've been doing, was the realization that the basis of existence is flux. This is totally different from what physicists have been teaching. Physicists teach that the basis of existence is structure. There are particles that are somehow bound to each other. even quarks. They speak of quarks and gluons, glue that holds them together, so to speak. If they began talking about flux, from their point of view, because see, physics is positivist science, they want to observe, to actually say, well, there it is, I observe it. Where is this flux? Well, they can't see it, and you can't see this flux because it's at an etheric level. You postulate an ether as the substrate forming physical phenomena.
A gamma wave, gamma ray burst, basically is a local event that comes from a supernova, and which is hugely destructive and powerful. And we're quite fortunate not to have any near us. And we've basically mainly seen them, if I understand it right, in neighbouring galaxies. But the superwave is something different, which is cyclical, is accompanied by a gravity wave, is accompanied by cosmic ray debris, and lasts quite a long time, like a storm, and leaves its imprints and its echoes materially in ice core samples, which is tangible evidence that you have that there's something going on here that's not being recognised. Can you speak to all of that and lay this out simply for people so that they can sort of see the territory we're talking about here?
We also have supernova explosions in our own galaxy, but they're not of the kind of the very powerful that cause these gamma ray bursts. Unless, when we're seeing these gamma ray bursts, what it is just a clump of very energetic particles that happen to come our way at that moment. And when scientists are saying it was very, very powerful, they're saying, imagine that this was the same energy from whatever angle you viewed this star. And it would end up totaling to a huge astronomical